Welcome back to the channel, and in this stream we will be continuing our expert gameplay of the game. And you, as you probably noticed, I have been gone for quite some time now. And I do apologize for that. I recently, well not really recently, but about a month or two ago, got kicked out of the place I was staying because I was unable to locate a job quick enough. And I've been going through a great deal of personal issues as well. So I do apologize for that. Um, I would like to apologize some more because in the future, probably not going to be able to go live as much any longer as my my career field has changed. So I won't be home like very often. And when I'm not, at least for a few months to come, it's going to be a little difficult to go live or do much else to be honest. So I might see a lot less streaming and possibly lacking on the videos. I'm going to try to keep those consistent. I could promise they'll stay consistent for the next 3 weeks or so, but after that, it gets a little iffy. But eventually we'll get back to normal. For now, it's just, you know, little changes like there always are. In any case, I'm just going to step away for one moment and I'll be right back with you. This Alright, so I'm just running through a view test here, so if you hear an echo, that's what it is. Alright, so it should be good to go. Let me just plug my phone in. We can get started with the last stream in a while. I will be going out of town soon, so maybe the last stream in general. You know, you'll hear the headline, another YouTuber gone. Unfortunately, we did recently lose another YouTuber to suicide, so I do hate to see that. That was very sad. I never actually followed her channel, but I did go ahead and take a quick look at it, and it looks like she was really into wolves, like raising little wolf puppies, which is nice. But hope her family's doing all right. And let's go ahead and check them out, taking an order. Looks like we have a Nissan Faraday Z. Oh, we got 7 seconds on this one. Ford GT40. Nice. We'll go ahead and move that on in the garage. Kind of tempted to take that Faraday as well, but I want to hold off. Yeah. So apparently I've been talking for the last 17 minutes to myself. So that was nice. That was nice. I gotta get a new headset. But anyways, like I was saying earlier when nobody could hear me, um, that was around the point that I was unmounting the trunk from the GT40 and came to the realization that I could not repair the body parts given my level was too low. Therefore, I went over to the workshop and increased my level for the repair of the parts and the body parts to level 5, which still was not enough because I require level 6 in order to repair the body parts, which is the top level, which cost a lot of points as it turns out, you know? But with that, yeah, 50 Cent. So I really am impressed at his ability to transfer, his, lesser moral perspective from the street, um, his hustling skills, so to speak, with certain, things that may not be accepted in the general public to his huge level of success in the business world, both as a producer and a business owner through entrepreneurship, which is honestly something to be commended, no matter how you look at him as a person. I mean, he is a trouble starter. He's a little weasel. You gotta look out for that one. You never know what he's gonna do. But he's uh, he's definitely earned respect, that's for sure. Oh, I don't? That's so disrespectful. I mean, it's true, so it's not technically disrespectful, but it does feel disrespectful. Look at 450 for a headlight. That's why I respect those rides. See that ride rolling down the street? You gotta respect it. Oh, trying to find something I can sell. Those are repairable, so it's the starter. It's a difficult choice, but I think I'm gonna have to sell every single one of these things that are in the orange. And still don't have the 1700 to buy the rear clamshell. How are we gonna work this? Gonna have to sell more, I'm thinking. It's not the brightest thing in the world, but gotta do what you gotta do. And still don't have 1700, well, this is probably the most expensive next to those rotors, as the cost of the middle alone is going to be worth more than 35 credits in my opinion, but nobody's asking me, so I mean, especially with the tariffs, they should have instituted that into this game's economy. It's so unrealistic in that aspect. thinking about selling that other rotor, but wouldn't be worth enough. Look at that. They're saying a caliber is worth more than a rotor. Really? 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 Let's say it in a few more tones to convey how I feel about that. Really? 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 So stupid. Oh, we got 70 on that. Yeah, it's not worth much. That should be worth more retrospectively, given the function and the engine of it. You know, you need it in order to drive any vehicle. It's not like a want. And now, how did that like change to like 16? Oh no, that's with the discount. I'm tripping. If I trip, then I'm tripping. Ugh, still need 500. Ooh, that's gonna be tough. That's gonna be iffy. You can tell it's been a while since I played. I did not consider the cost of things before I purchased this. Well, before I brought it into the shop, I should say. Um, let's go ahead and sell that, I guess. But no, I don't want to. I don't want to. Oh, I'm gonna whine about it. Oh, oh, oh. See, I'm whining. Hmm. Still trying to figure it out. I just can't. It's so hard for me to sell. But I'm gonna try and repair a few parts, and then I'm gonna try and do that. You don't have the necessary parts to repair. Uh, that's true because I just sold them all, right? Can't repair that because that's a body part. Hmm, that's worth half as much as a rotor. Just pointing that out there. Half as much. Crazy. Oh, that's 40. That's not bad. 20. Let's go ahead and sell all these, I guess. Excuse me. My allergies are popping up since it's summertime. You know, summertime, time to suffer. Get to it. GT40 rear clam. I already have a clam. Why do I have two? Why do I have two? Well, at least it's worth 875 credits. And at least we have that right side mirror. See, I got to it. There we go. There we go. What am I forgetting? Nothing. Oh. So, grinding, shaking from the gearbox is 1,100 credits. Fixed body part for 4,275 credits. Task bonus of 471 credits. Job bonus of 4,030 credits. Total payout of 9,876 credits. And we will not finish that order because we took out the starter and we did not put it back in. That's not something you want to do. But it is something that happens from time to time. Now I want you to notice that I've been clicking on this option, to go up, to tell the lift to ascend, ascend, lift, ascend. And it will not ascend. It'll only descend. Oh, it's choosing to ascend. It's choosing to ascend. It's ascending to a new level. Oh my goodness, what we all hope we might do in the afterlife. Well, some of us. Others actually believe in a place called heaven, which would be nice to believe in retrospectively, if it weren't just a fairy tale. It is nice to believe, though, if you can convince yourself. And technically, with the way the human mind evolved, it is ideal, according to modern therapists and psychologists, to believe in an afterlife. I guess it, I guess, I guess it gives you something to strive for mentally. Otherwise, everything's pointless. Oh, we got Luxor Baron. I think we're gonna go ahead and pick by price, and this is gonna have the least expensive parts. So we're gonna go ahead and take this. We're gonna take this. And we're going to repair this. Yeah, we're going to repair it. What do you think of that? We got windshield wiper, coolant, and brake fluid. Ooh. Duhash. 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 If It's German, don't you know? If it sounds a little hostile and intimidating, it's German. If it sounds elegant and charming, it's French. If it sounds a little softer, kind of makes you feel good, it's Spanish. And if it sounds hacked up like Russian but hacked up, it's Czechoslovakian. And if it sounds German but it's not, it's Russian. Like if you're like, this is German, oh wait, but it's not, it's Russian. Oh, we got loud exhaust and brake problems. All right, brake problems. Number one, I just wasted money because this is 38%, and as you can see, this is not at 38%. Not in any realm. Not even Hades. That is assuming Hades is in a different realm, which is different from a different dimension because a realm is more like what's happening here, you know. It's still close enough to our dimension to interact with our dimension in the ability of sight and possibly affect matter theoretically. But yeah, that's that. That's that, you know. That's how that goes. I personally like to believe that it it's like a looking glass where if you are in a different realm that's close enough energetically to our dimension, you can see us. And if you can muster, I don't know whether it would be gaining enough energy to do it through cultivation of said energy, which has been my theory in the past, or just adjusting your frequency to the correct frequency in order to interact with this dimension and therefore reality. But, it's just some thoughts, some wild thoughts. This is the kind of stuff I think about. When I was younger, I was set on the idea that it was about gaining energy, but as you get older and you learn more things about it, it's like, especially with Tesla's ideas in regards to reality and the way that we should think of it being energetically instead of physically, it definitely makes you think. And Einstein openly admitted on his deathbed, if I'm not mistaken, that Tesla was smarter. So Tesla got it in the end. Haha. I always knew he was. So, yeah. Einstein was intelligent in the way that, with a limitation of the physical world, I would say. And I believe that to be why I believe that his equations had an error because he was thinking of it more as a physical thing than an energetic thing. If he thought about it in an energetic sense, he would have came to the same conclusion logically, but as Tesla did, that is. But he was inhibited in that manner due to his education and possible upbringing. Could have had something to do with it. Definitely affected his choices in the future. He had a brilliant mind, though. IQ of between what, 140 and 145? So low level genius, nothing spectacular. But in that time, it was pretty big. What I do find interesting, though, and this to some may be a discredit of his work, which by no means should be, because I think, no, I'm not even going to say that because I'm not totally certain, but he did, uh, his inventions are taking place more and more today, as opposed to Einstein, which took place earlier because they were, I guess, fit more in that time frame. But Tesla had a companion that was a pigeon, I believe was the species of bird. He loved that bird. He really did. And that was nice. You know, if a bird was enough for him, then I should be able to repair this brake drum. But no, no, I'm not. Probably for the same reason I was unable to lift a vehicle. These are the things you think about when you're playing Car Mechanic Simulator 2021. Oh, well, probably not. Probably more when you're reading a book about physics, actually, or theoretical physics, more accurately stated, which is another fascinating point. How Einstein was a theoretical physicist. You know, theoretical. Nothing he did was based in fact. It was much like the theory of evolution, meant to be proven in the future. Parts of it were. I believe that the theory itself is sound, but the idea, the basis of the idea could be accurate, but the end product isn't entirely accurate, which is alright because this theory still stands strong today. It just has a few correcting points that could be corrected upon, but will not, at least not for with a theory of evolution. And I'm going to put that back by 30 years. People are too busy going at each other's throats to open up to new ideas and ways of thinking. Might be detrimental to culture to catch them up a little too soon. They just need to stay where they are. And that's alright. I wish I could do that. That'd be great. Then maybe I'd act like everybody else. Dumb and naive without paying attention. That's not to say everybody's dumb and naive, obviously. But the average IQ, no, below average IQ is really what I'm pointing to there. I think the average IQ is good. I think it's solid. I'd love to speak with an average IQ. Hell, if you ask me, I'm probably below average. But that's my thoughts on the thing. And calibrator, who spells calibrator? I don't spell calibrator, clearly, because I can't spell calibrator. It's a problem. But we got there eventually, and that's what counts. I do see I have 2 viewers for some godforsaken reason. So, welcome to the channel. I do appreciate you watching. It's a great game. Think you should play it. Please feel free to chat in the chat. I do believe I finished the job on the brakes, even though there's a lot that could be repaired. A lot more, I should say, but you know, they don't want us to for whatever reason, and that's cool with me. Loud exhaust is what we're doing next. Oh, let me see. 38. Let's take this off. Take this off. Take this off. Take this off. That off. That off. That off. And come to find that it's probably one of these. I don't know. Let's see what level those are at. The rear and the muffler definitely need to be replaced. But how many are we looking at? Rear and the muffler. Yeah, it's one of those. Uh, Front exhaust section. Gold dust. Sorry, that's where my mind went. Mm, yeah, rear. No, none of those were correct. One of the rear mufflers would have been though. Brake drum, brake caliber, front section. Lease ring drive axle. Lease ring, rear muffler. That one on. Followed by that one. That one. Add that. Put that on in there. Middle muff. There you go. Front exhaust section is on. Now we just need to refill that brake fluid again. We're good to go. After we put in the new brake servo. And quite honestly, we could use a new fuel pump, but they don't want us to touch it, so. Sorry about that. I rubbed my mic. It doesn't like to be rubbed. Gets upset and emits a loud noise. Oh, we got 812 credits on that one. Not too bad. And again, I'm looking for the vehicle. Well, yeah, still with the less cost, because 10,000 is not much, and we still need to make some improvements to the shop. So we got an M3 there and an M3 here. Great Baron. That is a lot. I think I'm gonna go with this one, even though it's gearbox, which is historically expensive. We got this. All right, we got this. You see, we're looking. We got this. Let's check it out. My help over here. Fix all gear problems. I really don't like when I see that because a gear problem could be in relation to an idler roller, a clutch, a flywheel, uh, clutch bearing, gearbox, a great deal of things, which can be a pain from time to time. I'm going to try something here, which is helpful in these kind of scenarios. Kind of helps us see what it is without actually having to dig into the engine or run any diagnostics on it. Could also be a bushing. So let's just go ahead and get it on a lift, because that's not really exposing much of anything. And let me just manually take a look here. That was not too bad. What's the level? 64%. That's going to be hard to distinguish. It'd be easier if it were lower. Got nothing there. Let's go over here. Nothing there. Nothing there. Nothing there. And, really can't tell. Oh, look at those axles. Honestly, given the problem, compression test isn't going to help with this kind of problem. Electric meter might, but it won't, so let's do it anyway. It just makes me feel better. Because I feel, I got those feelings. Which, to me, from a scientific level, is just serotonin levels in your brain. But, from energetic, spiritual level, it could be your energy level, your frequency. So yeah, that didn't help much with the gear thing. We did find out that it's the clutch release bearing. More than likely that was from that little old magnifying glass. That helps out. And in order to remove this type of gearbox, which I refer to as the type of gearbox that goes on an inverted engine, given the angle at which the engine is in the engine bay, you have to remove the starter often from the top, from the engine bay itself. It's kind of a pain. It's also a pain because you have to remove both drive axles, which are independent drive axles on each tire, and then you have to remove the drive shaft as well, as that's connected directly to the gearbox. So it's kind of a pain in comparison to your traditional V8, but gets better gas mileage. If you're concerned about gas mileage over power. Oh. Weird positions for the bolts, you would think. Probably not the most efficient. I mean, I think that bottom one's gonna get rusted over and fall out first, given all the tension built up from the motion of everything below. It would come to that point a lot faster than it would that first point. You know, that's just me. Find and fix all gear problems. 35 credits, tax bonus 4 credits, job bonus 25 credits, total payout 64 credits. And with that, we have 64 credits plus 20 XP. Brings us to level 12 still. With that, let me go ahead and see what I could get upgraded, which is available skill points 2. That's going to be a lot more than what we have. That's really all I want to do right now. Nothing. But we can check in here. OBD scan report. Not the most useful thing. Break glass. Eh. I might laugh at the break glass. I might. Engine stand. Not the most useful. That is. But increases our garage full body repairs. I don't know what that includes because we already have the table for body repairs, but let's get it. Huh. Expand your garage warehouse, store and sort spare parts. Lift. Honestly, 2 lifts. Unless you're working on 2 cars at the same time, which I do sometimes, but it's rare. So, not the most useful. Oh, look at this. We got welder. Yes, that's what it was referring to. A welder actually allows you to repair the frame of a vehicle. So, well, matter of fact, let's go ahead and do it. When you go over to a barn here, excuse me, allergies. You go over to a barn and you pick up like a vehicle such as this. Though you can see all the parts here, you can't see what's important. That being the frame. Let's say we pick it up. We want to go ahead and re-innovate it in full. Like you may see in some of my rebuilds on my main video section. Check those out today. We want to go ahead and rebuild the vehicle, after tearing it all down. You can go ahead and weld the frame and that'll add value to the vehicle when you resell. Which, if you're looking to make a lot of money and you have, I'd say at least like 10,000 spare credits, you can go ahead and do that and make up for a lot of it actually. It's a good way to make money. But, yeah, that's 10,000 for the repair of the vehicle, not including the price to purchase the vehicle. The price to purchase the vehicle generally varies. I mean, in a barn, it could go as far as like 20,000 to 50,000. I've never really seen it get over 25 too often, but depending on the vehicle, it could get up there. Junkyard's pretty cheap. That's usually under 20,000. But then again, it does cost more to repair, given the parts and the repairs themselves. Edgewood Wildcat. If I had 15,000, I would put that in front of the shop. I am a fan of the Wildcat and the Mustang series, as well as the Z series, and the Civics are kind of cool too, especially those old hatchbacks. Ooh. 1970 Bolt Atlanta. That's nice. Tire's a little too big for me. About 20,000. Most expensive one in here. Definitely cool though. I'm not going to pay too much attention to the vehicles, as right now I wouldn't be able to afford them anyway. But like that case, you can get a lot of great stuff out of there, from experience to credits to maps for other barn locations. So that's kind of cool. Can get quite a few parts. Great ideas to pick up these parts from the junkyard or, a barn location and fix them up for resale. Which is what I might end up doing if I run out of credits again. Otherwise, generally I end up putting them in my warehouse for future builds. Because I just can't help myself. Excuse me. Oh, I'm getting crazy. I'm getting crazy. I gotta slow down. I can't even repair those body parts yet. Can't even repair those either. I can't help myself. I see a rim. I see it's chrome. I gotta buy it. It's not what I want to do. It's what I have to do. With that, let's go back to the garage before we spend any more money we don't have. Uh, we got the final cut with the 5% discount at 2020, well, 2,201 credits. Total amount was 2,316. So shows you how valuable that discount is. That being pretty valuable once you get your points up and you get the full discount. 5% not so much maybe, but full discount's definitely worth it. I would recommend it for what it's worth. And with that, let's see what we can repair. Oh, the rims are in here. As I should know. If I were playing on my other profile, I would just know that. But since I'm playing on this profile, I couldn't remember it. Much like a database in a computer. It's weird. Let's go over here. Not gonna get that. Too expensive on parts. Oreo, Salem's gonna be the cheapest. Kind of a remake of a Victoria deal. So we'll move that over to the left. We'll move it on over here to the left. We'll open up this screen right here. We'll see it has very little horsepower in it, but it still somehow has single cam V8. So that's questionable. Strange noise from the engine bay. I always hate doing those repairs. The engine is working, but it's choppy, much like my voice. The filters need replaced. Easy enough. Fuel filter, air filter, oil filter. Oh, timing related parts and the body. The body. The body. The engine is working, but it's choppy. Why is it choppy? I think what might help us figure out is doing a compression test. That's creepy, right? Camshaft. At least we found something. Oh, camshaft, still got that. Filters obviously not coming through. And we got all the timing parts there, so that's good. We can go ahead and mark. Oh, no, we cannot mark those. Alright. Let's just get those filters replaced first, as that's going to be the easiest thing to do. You will notice we have about 4 clips. Not all air filter cartridges are made that way. Some of them have 4 bolts, which if you ask me should be on all of them, but I guess some of them don't have enough compression to condone it within the engine air intake bay. Oh, maybe that has something to do with it. Can't do that from the top of the engine, right? And we don't have any spare filters there. Probably not there either, so we'll go ahead and purchase those. Yeah, it's that oil filter, right? Yeah, so we'll go ahead and do an oil change, but before we do said oil change, we got that water pump, timing chain, ham shaft's gonna be in the top of the engine, and apparently we gotta replace this cover anyway, so let's take it off. Should be able to repair it, hopefully. Not those. That. Save on cost. Looking good. Don't know how we got plastic back to pristine condition. But we did. We pristined it. Drain some fluid, giving us the ability to take off some more parts. Where's that bolt? Why are you hiding from me? Where are you? Show yourself. Show yourself. Bolt, bolt, where are thy? Where are thy, bolt? The bolt is hiding from us. We must not let that happen. We must find said bolt and remove it. This is turning into a Mission Possible movie. Found it. One of them. Apparently there's more than one. There it is. Ooh, there's that shaft. And I'm not talking about shaft like in a movie. Because then I might have to tell you to shut your mouth. Oh, we got the gearbox. And we're gonna have to take this out anyway. So we might as well take this opportunity to remove said camshaft. See if we have one. We do not. That's at 1%. So we'll go ahead and replace that. Steering pump. Water pump pulley. Water pump. Alright. So we'll need to replace this. Don't already have one. And it's at 10%. That we should be able to repair. If we're high enough level, we are, thankfully. And we'll go over here. And we do need those timing chains, right? Timing chain A, timing shoe A. Both timing chains. All four, in fact. Alrighty. And the pulley. That is the pulley I'm thinking of, right? The water pump pulley. Yeah, obviously, since it's on the top of the water pump, right? There's your sign. Got that 66. Yeah, that's enough. Ooh, no, no, don't want to do that. One not found. Enter, gonna get that. That's easy enough. Let me see. I got an idea what it might be. Causing all this clanking in the engine bay. Must be the suspension, steering chamber, but more than likely it's going to be something we would need to do in compression tests normally to even have hope of seeing it, which we probably wouldn't, because I'm guessing it's actually the crankshaft bearing or the caps for the valves and pistons. Hmm. Well, I was definitely wrong there. Definitely wrong. Unfortunately. But we did have to empty the oil anyway, so not the worst. See if we have another one of those. We do not. Go. Wheel hub bearing is looking good on both sides. Hmm. Alright, let's go ahead and bring her down. We'll get that brake tense. Will we get that brake tensor? Oh, see, I'm hesitant to do it. Oh, there it is. Fuel rod. For the fuel injection. Well, technically that would be the fuel injectors, but it's part of the fuel system. That's it, right? No, it's not. All right. The ignition coil needs replacing though, and so did the fuel rail. So while it wasn't the sound coming from the engine, unfortunately, it does still need replacing. That coil, yeah, both of those coils need replacing. We still got that sound coming from the engine though. That's what's getting to me. Because, well, no, the camshafts are good, the heads are good. So I wouldn't need to tear it further apart. Maybe it's, I mean, it's not a spark plug, but maybe it's a smart spark plug. I'm guessing it's a bushing more than likely. Yeah, because the sparks look alright. They look to be sparking. Are you sparking? Sparking? Yeah, he's sparking. Just have to ask them sometime. See if they're sparking. They'll tell you. Got that tensor of the belt. And we got that strange noise and the body parts. I'm gonna go ahead and fill up the fuel. Well, might be helpful if we had a steering fluid reservoir. No, that's just me. And you know, oil, it comes in handy. Liquefied dinosaurs. Held in Earth's soil for millions of years. Is great for mechanical parts. You wouldn't think so at first. You try to use it. Hmm. I don't think we have the test path yet. Let me see. What would it take to get one? 10,000 credits. Yeah, we could still take it here though. The only problem is I'm not sure if my remote works, and it would be a shame to drive a vehicle virtually without a remote or a wheel. And that is just not something I can bring myself to do. So, with that, let me see about hooking this up. And I doubt if it'll work, but you know, I hope it does. For all of our sake. Otherwise, I'm driving with a keyboard. And that just doesn't feel right. Oh, look at that. Kick right in. Not sure if it's the engine mounting brackets or not, but seems like when I hit the gas, the steering kind of goes weird. It's like more responsive in a way. Clutch pressure plate. Was that it? Yes, it was for 500. This is not that kind of an engine. I don't know why I was thinking this was inverted when it's clearly a V8. And it is not on the GT40. So, while I was going through that extensive process to remove the gearbox to get to the clutch is beyond me. I thought it was the clutch. Oh, yes. The pressure plate. I don't know why I was thinking clutch. Guess I'm getting tired again. That one cup of coffee just ain't doing it no more. I find myself drinking one, 3/4. Sometimes I get as far as 1.5. Alright, now for the body parts. This part makes me wish I had more points in my tree. 0.6, so we can do this and unlock the rest of the parts to be repaired, but I don't believe we could repair the body parts yet. Front left door, front right door, front left fender. Rear left door, right. Left side mirror. Front right window, door window. Rear left door and windshield. Right, right. Yeah. All right. So, let me see. This is a Salem Overking. The Overking of Salem. Was it the left fender? Yeah, I believe so. And the rear left door. Well, the windshield. A shield that is when. I believe so. The left side mirror. And something else I'm missing. But we'll get to that. Right door window. Alright. Right window of the door. Front right door window. There you go. Got it. And we're going to put that tire back on. So, strange noise from the engine bay. That's 523 credits. The engine is working but it's choppy. 347 credits. The filters need to be replaced at 56 credits. Replace timing related parts at 288 credits. Fix body parts at 1,410 credits. Task bonus of 295 credits for a job bonus of 1,867 credits at a total payout of 4,786 credits. So we'll go ahead and finish that, assuming we didn't decide consciously to forget the starter again. Very pivotal part. You may not think so, but you know. And you know, a left door. What is that? A window I'm missing? Left door. What am I missing? Left door window, yeah. Left door window. Where are we? Okay. There we go. Left door window. Rear left door window. And good, good. We're good. Great. We're good. We're good. You hear that? We're good. We're good. We're good. We're all good. So with that, knowing we're good, let's go ahead and see what we can do. I want to make the parts as not expensive as possible, given I can't actually repair body parts yet. We'll go with this. Ooh, that's DLC. Definitely will take that. The Silva. Everybody knows the Silva. Little sparky thing. Moves a little fast on the track. 4 cylinder. I believe it had VTEC too, if I'm not mistaken. Much like the, what was that, Honda H21 engine, I want to say. Could be wrong. Probably wrong. Front exhaust section was one of the parts that I need to replace. And the other is going to be an exhaust manifold. This is for the engine running loud, of course. Yeah, I think we found the manifold. No, no remove manifold without removing the turbo first. Isn't that kind of rude? It's kind of cool. Turbo. I thought it was VTEC. Of course, I always forget the exact definition of VTEC for some reason. It's one of those blocks I intentionally put in my brain. It's like you must forget things. For what reason, I don't know. Maybe it's just to suffer. That would make sense. Car is loud at 340 credits. Tax bonus of 42 credits. Job bonus of 255 credits. And total payout of 637 credits. Oh, that was a easy job. Didn't pay much, but still easy. Got gear problems on this Bolt K. Fairly inexpensive. And yet, it pays out well. Let's see there. Gearbox looks good. Let's see if it tells us. It does not. So, what I'm going to do is lift it up a little bit and take a quick look with the magnifying glass to see what we could find. Clutch plate and a clutch pressure plate. Cool. I always like to check it before I open it because sometimes when it says gear problems, like I was mentioning before, it means things like the cogs or something in the timing. Well, not the timing. Usually it'll mention if it's the timing, but could mean something up front, like the belt or something. Kind of a pain, because I don't generally think of those kinds of things as gear problems at all. Alright, so we got find and fix all gear problems at 170 credits. Task bonus of 27 credits. Job bonus of 166 credits. For a total payout of 371 credits. Starter is missing. You know, I like to forget that part. There we go. Got that. Not too big of a payout on that. Unfortunately, the only ones that are offering a decent payout are going to be body work, and as you know, I can't repair body parts yet. But let's go ahead and get this one anyway. Seems like we're leaving a lot of money on the table by not being able to repair the body parts and getting something that requires body work. But why not? Does pay out. Brake problems, find and fix gear problems, and repair or replace body parts. So, brake problems, ABS pump and module are good. Servo looks decent. Let's go ahead and lift this up. Check out those rotors, calibers, and pads. Rotors, calibers, and pads. Oh my. Caliber's gonna need replaced. Pad should be alright on that one. Thinking the rotor's gonna need replaced on this one. Possibly the caliber, but I doubt it. Maybe the brake pad? Kinda hard to see on that. Caliber and the brake pad on this one. Oh, well, I had these off. The gearbox is definitely going to need replacing. So, we might as well go ahead and do that. Thankfully, on this inverted engine, we could remove the starter from the bottom and try to remember to put it back on, which has been a problem today. And is that the clutch or the flywheel? I think it's the clutch. Yep, clutch. 10% as it turns out. And there we go. Put on that pressure plate. And the clutch bearing. Let's put that 66 on. Yeah, that should do. What is that at? 10%. Gonna have to buy a new one of those too. Thankfully, it's a pretty small one. Pretty tiny. Drive shaft. Axle. And caliber 70. wouldn't have required me to take it off. I do believe we could repair all those parts though, so let's go ahead and check into that. Definitely want to repair those. Because we don't want to put a less valuable solenoid into a new caliber. And they got a free repair of the starter, so good for them. We'll go ahead and put that new one on there with a new cylinder. And put the tire back on. Let's make sure the ratio is the same as the rear tires. And it is. And we'll move back down here. Gonna need a new brake disc. How much was that last? I was laughing at. Only one time. Yeah, we could do that. Now with the brake lath, we can go ahead and resurface the brake rotors. Spin one and back through. And we're doing it another time. Thinking those are good. That one clearly was not. Now we can go ahead and put that tire back on and get onto the other wheel well, which I believe is in the front. That'll be the brake pads and the caliber. Oh, we'll go ahead and buy another one of those. After all, we did save a lot by repairing, what is that, 2 of them, as well as the solenoids, so buying one of them isn't going to be a problem. I wish I didn't get that rotor, but we could use it in the future. Before we move further, let's get that starter back on. Got it this time. Uh-oh. I think I probably shouldn't have spent that money on the lathe. With these body parts, I didn't know we'd have to repair that many. The front left door, right door, left fender, left door, right door, left fender, and hood, left side mirror, left tail light. Left rear door, right rear door, and the trunk. Yeah, that's gonna get pricey. All the doors and the trunk. Let's see how pricey. Left door, right door, left door, door, trunk, left tail light. left side panel. And we needed the hood too, right? Yeah. Left side mirror and trunk window. Yeah, didn't end up being too pricey. I was certain I made a mistake there. So we got the brake problems at 260 credits. Find and fix all running gear problems at 890 credits. Repair or replace body parts at 1,730 credits. Task bonus of 699 credits. Job bonus of 2,095 credits, and a total payout of 5,674 credits. So we'll finish that. And I'd like to see, we do not. Really anxious to repair those body parts. Uh, let's see what else we have here. Supra, that'd be fun to work on. Keeps slipping, the gears keep slipping, and fix any running gear issues. So probably have to replace the entire uh, gear set, I believe is what they call it. Not including the gearbox. I'm guessing it's like the clutch, the pressure plate, probably the clutch bearing, and the flywheel. Oftentimes the bearing's good though in this game. But let's take a look here before we open up the gearbox. Oh, clutch plate and the clutch release bearing. Huh, look at that. We got lucky. Makes sense though. The release bearing would be the problem since the gears were slipping. Should have saw that coming. Of course, that could have also been the pressure plate, which it did turn out to be. So there you go. It all adds up. Oh no, it's not the pressure plate, it's the clutch itself. Which, you know, still makes sense. Teeth not connecting because it's too wore out. So we got the gears keep slipping at 90 credits, find and fix all gearbox problems at 35 credits, tax bonus of 29 credits, job bonus of 127 credits, and a total payout of 281 credits. So we got that one. And let's see about the next. And we got brake issues and engine oil. So go ahead and take that in here. Take a look at the ABS module and pump, as well as the servo. Looks like we got a problem here with, I'm going to call module. Alright, we're going to have to come over here and get it there. Engine, alright. Servo, looks like it's at least at 52, I would say. So we'll go ahead and put this up on the lift. And probably replace that rotor. Don't think the caliber is going to need them to be replaced at 52. But it is possible. Brake pad's definitely going to need replaced on this one. And brake pad and possibly the caliber. Brake pad and possibly a caliber. Get like 6 of those for the future. Future proof it. Caliber is 70. That will be good. Put that tire back on. Looks like we'll have to replace that rotor. There we go. Brake pad. 65 should be good. Can't remember if we needed a new brake pad on this one or not. Let me see if they're above 50. What was it? 52. That's 56, so that should be alright. And that's good. 61. That on there. And move on back here. We'll need a new pad. And caliber's good at 64, 65, whatever that was. Get that tire back on. And go over here, there. We will go ahead and put some new pads on. And that caliber, go ahead and put on a new caliber, or a new cylinder for that caliber, as the other one was only at 60%, which means it would have died out before the caliber, possibly causing the problems in the future. So we're going to go ahead and drain that oil there. Oh, and we will put, well, better yet, I think it might be a good idea to replace that filter while we're at it. I don't like to replace oil without replacing the filter. Unless, of course, I have previous knowledge that the filter is aftermarket and was changed on the last oil change. In which case, well, if it's aftermarket in general, I mean, some of those filters you don't need to replace, depending on what vehicle you get. I had a Tiburon that had an aftermarket filter that never needed replaced for the oil. But then some mechanic that didn't know what he was doing, I think it was at a Jiffy Lube, ended up replacing it with a weaker oil filter, leading to the rest of the lifetime having to replace the oil filter. So that was wonderful. I had forgotten to ask about it because, yeah, I wasn't getting any sleep at the time, as usual. And so I was very forgetful. Or mention it, I should say. But we did replace that oil and the oil filter at 25 credits, poor brake performance at 920 credits, tax bonus of 124 credits, job bonus of 363 credits, for a total payout of 1,432 credits. And we did level up, leading me to want to check the workshop here. Battle point 1. We need one more point in order to repair body parts. That just seems wrong. It just seems wrong. Now, let me check my messages real quick. My annoying sister is bothering me. And let me see. Well, we're kind of out of time for the stream, but I kind of want to give you guys a little bit more. We're not gonna go with that one because that's really pricey, and I'm sitting at about 8,000. But let's go ahead and check this one out. Has some brake issues. Maybe we can get some good experience on this one and harness some more points. Let's check out that module real quick. Looks like the module does need replacing. So we'll get started on that. Just think it's a shame, I'm not going to be able to do any live episodes until I get this position I got hired on going. And I'm not going to be able to do that until I complete the CDL program. The rest of it, I've already gotten the written portion. Hopefully that permit lasts until the end of the program. Otherwise, I'll be sitting there working on the written part again, which is the reason I went with this program instead of the Metro program. Part of it anyway. The primary reason was because by the time I get to the Metro program, I would have no more money left. So, yeah. Metro, being a local community college in my area that was offering a CDL program that I could actually do for free through a program referred to as the GAP program. But the problem is it's like, what is that, 2 months out? It's not until September, so 3 months out from, well, kind of, more closer to 2 months. But yeah, so that's wonderful. Wish I would have gotten my permit sooner, then I would have been able to take advantage of the fall program, and I would be there right now working through my CDL with a guaranteed plan to get it, as opposed to a, hey, hope you do well. And having to go to a different state to do it. That's really bothersome. Not to mention I'm going to have to fly to do it, which I really don't like to do because it's really a pain. Going to the gate, getting through TSA, hoping your luggage isn't too heavy to carry on. Never know until you get there. Because I would really prefer not to. Even, this reminds me of a dream I had once where I was boarding a plane and putting my luggage in the upper, you know, carrying area. But I didn't know where I was going in the dream. Kind of indifferent to it. Alright, so we got poor break performance at 840 credits, task bonus of 105 credits, job bonus of 315 credits, total payout of 1,260 credits. And it looks like Stacy put a bunch of weird smiley faces in the chat. So hello, Stacy. That green face is kind of weird. But let's see here. All right, well, I do believe I will have to end this stream now. In the interest of ending the stream the right way. Just takes a second there. So, I did want to thank you for joining me for today's stream. You could join me again sometimes when I'm streaming. Like I said, for the next few weeks, that's going to be undetermined. The stream schedule is also undetermined, as I'm not certain when I'm going to be able to start streaming again. And if I do, what frequency, all of that information. But if you did enjoy watching this stream, please go ahead and feel free to click the like. And if you would like to see more of this content, please feel free to subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.